Our next storyteller is Libby Cosmides. Libby is here today to tell her family story. Although her talented brother George did not recover from his mental illness and fulfill his musical dreams, Libby believes that today recovery is possible, and with family support, dreams can come true. Listen to a brief recording of George's talent at the age of 16.
My name is Libby Cosmides, and I am a family member. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the summer of hope, it was the winter of despair. These familiar opening words to the book A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens describe my family in the year 1962. A year when mental health recovery was hardly on the radar. You have just heard a brief recording of my brother's performance as the guest pianist for the Mid-Ohio Valley Symphony, playing Mozart's Concerto in A major at the young age of 16. His music instructor said he was a child prodigy and likely to become a famous concert pianist someday. I was the head cheerleader for the Washington Red Devils in Parkersburg. And yes, it was the best of times. It was the summer of hope. Winter came, and so did the worst of times. My once proud and successful father was forced into retirement due to problematic alcoholism. My brother had a nervous breakdown, his music playing over and over like a broken record in his mind, along with hallucinations. And my sweet mother spent most of her days on the couch in despair. What began as a model family spiraled into decline. My brother didn't snap out of his mental state like my father expected, and with thoughts of suicide, he ended up in a mental institution for 2 years. While there, he attempted to escape. Then, my father died from cirrhosis of the liver, and my mother, unable to cope with the never-ending sadness, attempted suicide herself and had shock treatments. In the meantime, I returned from college, went to the mental institution, checked my brother out for a weekend visit, and decided that place wasn't where he needed to be. Later that year, our mother passed away from congestive heart failure and a broken heart. I became my brother's guardian at the age of 23. He was 27. We lived together for several years, and when a group home opened, George agreed to try to live with others. He was well liked because he didn't cause any trouble and basically kept to himself. He continued to play the piano, though his once sought-after talent was diminishing. As for me, I was fortunate to marry at the age of 40. My husband, who understands me, has teasingly called me an angel with a broken halo. I am not so sure about the angel part, but I can assure you that I have a broken halo. When my brother passed away from a heart attack in 2003 at the age of 59, He was unable to concentrate on playing the piano and was not answering the knocks on his door. I prayed and believed for the longest time that a miracle drug would change his life. I thought George would get better if he just tried harder. What happened with my family started 55 years ago. Today is a different day. It's a new day with hope. Here's what I've learned from my experience. Because mental illness affects everyone in the family, it is important that family members understand the illness. Sleeping too much, withdrawing from activities, feeling scared, lacking energy to do daily tasks, all were everyday signs of my brother's declining mental health. Secondly, I have learned that our loved one's mental illness is not their fault. And it is not the family member's fault either. It's no one's fault. This illness is a brain imbalance, and for recovery, family love, therapy, and medicines are all part of the solution. Finally, and most importantly, early intervention is critical. By the time I realized and accepted the diagnosis of schizophrenia and obsessive-compulsive disorder, my brother was stage 4 and chronic. My advice is don't wait until there's another episode, another mood swing, another suicide attempt, another suicide thought, another incarceration. Act today. Help is available and treatment works. The testimonials this evening are evidence that recovery is possible. And remember, you are not alone. There are other families going through the same thing. Family support groups are there to help you. I close with a few lyrics from Johnny Mercer's song, Autumn Leaves, because it was my favorite song. That my brother played for me. The falling leaves drift by my window, the falling leaves of red and gold. Since you went away, the days grow old, and soon I'll hear the winter song. But I missed you most of all, my dear, when autumn leaves start to fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Libby. Those were powerful words. Mental illness is no one's fault. It's no one's fault.